G'day YouTube, Warbles on a lot here. As you can see, I'm sitting outside wearing my mobile phone as a head camera attached to the Rural Fire Services hat. And I've had a fair bit of interest in my injured finger, which I made a bit of a savage mistake while I was loading firewood a week ago. So I thought I might as well show you what it looks like, okay? So this is kind of like the unboxing of the injured finger. The thing is, I recognised that I had done a pretty savage bit of damage to it straight away, and what we're going to look at is a piece of telfer, which is a wound dressing, a non-stick wound dressing, and I've put it on an avulsion wound. Now, avulsion means a degloving wound, right? And basically I used the sharp edge of a 40-pound piece of firewood, and by not paying attention to either my guardian angel or my spirit guide or the geometry of the situation, that's what we have. As you can see, the finger's swollen from there up. The fingernail itself hasn't grown for about a week. Judged by the bloodline, you can see how from about there to there, the edge of the wood has guillotined the finger, and for the past 7 days, that piece of blood-encrusted telfer has been forming a U-shaped splint over the wound, but that's pretty much the limit of the wound. And when it happened, I let it pulse once, just to flush the wound. As you can see, if I look real close, there's bruising under the nail and skin off on that finger. And there's bruising under the nail on that finger as well. So I did a pretty thorough job of getting all 3 fingers crushed between the bits of wood. By the look of this, there may even be a broken phalange in the middle of it. I may have busted the joint. My theory is it's 7 days since I did this. All right. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I did it at probably 4:30, 7 days ago. And it doesn't bleed. It doesn't smell infected. The fingertip has got a blood supply. I called my son and I got him to drive out here thinking that he would drive me to hospital, but by the time I got back to the hut, although I was still feeling a bit shocky, I'd worked out that there wasn't going to be much treatment at the local hospital at sundown on Sunday. And they were more likely than not to send me to Armidale, like 100 kilometres down the road, maybe Tamworth, 200 kilometres down the road, so that somebody could clean this out and try and sew it together. Whereas what we did was flushed it with rainwater. You can see the betadine, the yellow staining on the pad, and the telfer pad has been bandaged on, and then the blood has turned it into a splint. I'm hoping that in about another 3 days, because I've thought about this at the 3-day mark, I thought about it at the 5-day mark, I thought about it at the 6-day mark, and I'm thinking about it now. I don't really feel that I can do anything helpful for this injury by taking the telfer off. At the moment, that telfer is acting as a splint. I've got no infection in the wound. The degloved flesh is being held as close to its correct position as it's possible to get it, and it hasn't gone rotten. So in theory, in another 3 days or so, I'll take this piece of telfer off and we'll see how successful first aid as final aid, first aid last aid I guess, has proven for a degloved finger. But if it doesn't work, well, as you can see there's a bit of redness and swelling there. I guess I'll probably lose the finger about there if this hasn't worked. But Monday morning, when I rang my doctor at 9 in the morning, his surgery was going to be shut till Wednesday, and the idea of trying to open this up after it's been attempting to heal for 3 days seemed like a stupid idea. So there you go, that's what's under the bandage. Alright? Warbles on a lot to YouTube. For any of you who thought I was making it up, there you go. That's the almost amputated finger. Yeah? I should have listened to my spirit guide as I was picking up a piece of firewood and ready to try and snap the projecting tang off it. I heard a voice in my ear saying, "Don't do it." And I thought, what the fuck, I've done this hundreds or thousands of times before. But it was the last bit of firewood of the day, and I completely failed to pay attention to the actual geometry of what I was doing. And yeah, 3 fingers got sucked into the gap and one of them nearly got amputated because I did not pay attention to my guardian angel. Wasn't I a silly bastard? Ciao. Alcohol is good pain relief. Bye.